You know what I'm saying? I'll
Brother
be like,
Shaka,
oh, yeah.
let me say this before I go. You are
Yeah.
one of the most dangerous brothers in our community. Why? Because he has been listening for a long time. And when you say something, he's going to say, wait, but you said this on this day. Here's the video.
And he's going to have the
He is one of the
documentation.
most dangerous brothers in our community. And so I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that Soneta's audience now knows about you. He was talking to me about Shaka, 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 Shaka. I thought he was talking about Shaka almost for a second. Because Soneta love him some Shaka Ma'at forever. So I'm just honored that now we have a more global. I know Rob Moore was kind of making a joke, but he was also making a comment. The reality is that this internet is going to allow Africans all over the world to connect on our interest, and that is powerful. That is powerful.
Yes.
I'm honored to be on. I promise I will communicate with you. I'm watching your shows ardently, Shaka. So whenever you would like me to come and chat with you privately or publicly, please let me know.
Yeah.
Okay?
Hotep Senuhena Senut E Tiren Ishaka Nugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. The title of this live stream is Vindication of Cheikh Anta Diop by Peter J. Brand. Both are PhDs. Now, I pronounced it Cheikh Anta Diop. People from Senegal will pronounce it Cheikh Anta Diop. They may pronounce the P or P sound as a B sound, but you know, who's in the place to be? JTV is in the place to be. V Bennett is in the place to be. Hotep, Andrew Bennett is in the place to be. Now, let me go in order. Actually, you know what? Let me do this. Okay, let's see now. Oh, it's okay. Andrew Burnett wrote Wagwan Jade. Our brother Jay from England is of Jamaican descent. I don't know, JTV, if you heard Frankie talking about Jamaicans. But anyway, what you see on the screen, if anybody wants, you can download the this picture if you want to. Picture download. You have the link in the chat. All right. Now, wrote sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. Probably meant to write many days. I did, bro. Not happy at all. So you heard what Frankie said about Jamaicans, you know. Today, I was on Chefrin's live stream. I uploaded the excerpt. I'm going to share the link, and I also put the full link. Oh, let's say the link to the full video in the description. That's the first link actually in the description. So this is the title and the link. Everything in the chat. Now I'm going to link to the full video. Chefrin Air's YouTube channel is called Carnivorous the Podcast. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna even put the channel title before the video title. Hey, Donnie Williams is in the place to be. Hotep Sen. Bennett wrote xenophobia has replaced information. LOL. Yes, on that platform, on Frankie's platform, that's been the case for a while. Oh, why he did not copy the channel title? Hold on. Do it this way. There it is. So you do have the channel title, the video title, and the link. Okay. Now, what I wanted to do is just go through the comments that were left. Okay. But most important, I almost forgot, is to play a video of Dr. Peter J. Brown, professor of Egyptology from the University of Memphis.
You know, we're reading from left to right. Those first three signs represent the group Kemet, and it comes from the word Kem, which means black. So Kemet means literally that which is black. And generally speaking, this word classically refers to Egypt as being the black land. And then the three signs, you have the seated man, the seated woman, and those three strokes that look like the number one. Those three strokes together is sort of the designation for plural. So the man and the women and the three strokes would be like meaning generically people. So if you read this would look like a writing for the black people.
Okay.
Or those who are black, referring to a group of people. And if you wanted to write a word that meant those who are black, referring to people, this is how you would write it. The question I have is whether this is actually something that it would appear on an ancient Egyptian text, or whether this is something somebody has composed in using Egyptian hieroglyphs that is not actually from an ancient Egyptian text.
So you have the link if anybody wants to get on the panel, but you must use a webcam. That's a requirement. Now, I have sent an email to Dr. Peter J. Brand because he was wondering if what he was shown, what he was presented on the screen, was just composed, or in other words, made up, or if it comes from some Egyptian text. So I've shared the link to the live stream that I have made, and I've let him know that the references are there. But the first thing that I wrote in my email is thank you for your insight. So he has the title, and for those who don't know, in the email I've put the title, which is Peter J. Brand, professor of Egyptology, said in 2024 the same as Cheikh Anta Diop in 1974. Now, for the record, I'm not claiming, of course, that Dr. Peter J. Brown is of the opinion that the ancient Egyptians were black. I'm talking about the glyphs and the grammar of the hieroglyphic or ancient Egyptian language. Okay. Now, Alpha Gassama wrote it's Chem, not Chem. Chem, it's my own language, means burn black. What is your language? I'm pretty sure your language is not the Medu Neter. Okay. So, Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop has been vindicated. What he argued 50 years ago has been confirmed with up-to-date scholarship. And for those who don't know, oh yeah, for the record, when I was on the Chef and L's panel, I did mention that some PhDs do translate Kemet as black. I actually said the black, right? So here for the record, we have Dr. James P. Allen. In his book, Middle Egyptian, An Introduction to the Language and Culture of Hieroglyphs, page 26, we can read, the Egyptians had several names for their own country, including Tamer, Kano land, and Kem, black. You see, black is in quotation. Okay, so that's one example. What's interesting is that he actually, Chef and L, used that book in his stream. I did not catch his stream from the beginning. You see, I was heading to work. I saw that it was live. I started listening, and then I got on. Now, Alpha Gassama wrote, I'm Soninke from Soni, Egypt of Aswan. There are Soninke people? In Aswan? Can you get on the panel? I mean, that's if you don't mind using webcam. Otherwise, feel free to continue in the chat. Okay. So here you do have the gardener sign these references, you know, basically in green. If you look for the glyphs, you will find them thanks to these references. Alpha wrote Soninke, meaning from Soni. So Alpha Gassama, are you telling us that Soninke means someone from Soni, and when you say Soni, you mean Soni, Egypt of Aswan? Is that what you're claiming? That's the first time I ever heard that. Now, you can see what Diop argued, page 41 of General History of Africa, volume 2. Now, this was printed in 1981, but Dr. Diop argued this in 1974 during a Cairo symposium. We heard what Dr. Peter J. Brown said, and here we have the Water Book, page 127 and 128. And Alpha answered yes. Okay, well, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all. Okay. Now, are you trolling? I don't know if you forgot, but I asked you what your language was. Right? When you put "it's my own language," I asked you what your language was, and you answered that you are Soninke. Right? So that is a tribe or ethnic group, and that is a language as well. So if you telling us that you are Soninke and that your language is Soninke, well, it is what it is, But I never heard that Soninke people come from Aswan, So can you give us a citation for that? Can you give us a quote from that? From a scholar? Is there any PhD by any chance that makes that argument? I mean, we can learn every day. I'm willing to learn today. So we do have those glyphs in the Water Book by Adolf Herman and Herman Kropov. We also have it, another book that Chef Friend L has shown during his live stream, Faulkner, A Concise Dictionary of Middle Egyptian. That's Raymond O. Faulkner. On page 286, we can see it here. He gave us a reference, which is here. This is the Petri Papyri, Hieratic Papyri from Kahun and Gurob. This is by Francis Lewin Griffith. And we have plate 3, number 5. This is hieratic. And we have the hieroglyphic transcript right here. And you can see within the red circle the same glyphs. Okay? So it is indeed from an Egyptian text. Then we have The Rise of the Hyksos by Anna Latifa Murad, where she talks about an alternative version. It's not the A1 glyph. It's actually the A2 glyph, the glyph with the man seated with the hand towards his mouth. And here we do have James P. Allen again in his historical inscription of Numhotep. And we can see the reconstruction of Niche 2, and we do have, once again, this similar combination. The only difference, once again, is that instead of the A1 seated man, it's the A2 seated man. So here, this is Dr. James P. Allen again in the publication called The New Concordance of the Pyramid Texts, Volume 6, PT, which stands for Pyramid Text, 673 to 806. This is provided by Brown University, dated 2013. You do have the link also, but you can type in the search engine, you will find it. And right here we have the TU bird, so that will be Kemet TU. Okay, and you can go back and you will see that Diop also wrote Kemet TU. Now this looks like the TU bird as well, but here it's definitely the Cheikh, so that will be Kemu. Here we do have the transliteration, once again by Dr. James P. Allen, and you can see Kemet TU and then Hep Is. So you do have the transliteration at the bottom. Here, Pyramid Text 674, the 3 hieroglyphic transcript, the references for the Pyramid Text. Now, One of them stands for the Pyramid of Pepi the First, and one of them stands for the Pyramid of Pepi the Second. But I don't remember which one it is. But the NT stands for the Pyramid Text of Neat. Okay, so when I say Pyramid of Pepi the First and Pyramid of Pepi the Second, basically it's really the pyramid text of Pepi the First. Or yes. Now we also have this book by Gustave Cheikh called Les Pyramides des Reines Neat et Apuit, and we can see at the bottom left we have the red circle. This is line 604. We do have the same Kemu that we have seen on Dr. James P. Allen's publication. So now I would like to go through the comments. In the meantime, the people from Ouagadougou in Ghana Empire came from Egypt. That's where the Soninke came from. Anyway, I don't want cut off your. Oh, I mean, I've finished sharing what I wanted to share with you. I finished sharing what I wanted to share. I'm going to go through the comments, and I will not even play the video. I will not have the sound. I just want to go through the comments I saw. So it will be brief, and after that, I'll call it a day. So that being said, Love Macro is in the place to be. Now, can you quote a scholar, preferably a PhD, but if you cannot quote a PhD, can you quote well, even if it's not a scholar, if you can quote some reference, some book, but that would be best if he was a scholar, if it's not a PhD, someone. But anyway. So basically, you are. Which country are you from? Okay, let's make it this way. Which country are you from? Because if you're Soninke, you are most likely from Senegal or from Mali, And if you don't mind, where do you reside now? Okay, so right now I'm about to share the chat. You can see that's where, hold on, it's loading it. Okay, that's where I got on the panel. So here's the chat. You see, YouTube has changed the design, and just wait. See the. So, oh snap, dang. Oh. Okay. So indeed, Alpha is from Mali and he resides in New York. And why? Okay. Is it working if I do it here? Yes, it is. So here you can see you have Donnie Williams who wrote Let Shaka In. Donnie Williams wrote He Running. Reggie decided to leave. You know, he's free to do what he wants. But I did not get on the panel to speak with him. I wanted to speak with Chef, but it is what it is. But then he came back after and he said, okay, you know, he wanted to comment on what I said because I dealt with the hieroglyphic. Now, Pure Black wrote Shaka ran him off the block. Reggie wrote, damn, Chef, probably because I said, you know, or he ran because of my presence, you know, and he's like 58, 59. But anyway, Indigenous Black Man wrote, Reggie is scared that Frankie will demote him, LOL. Pure Black wrote, Shaka is hilarious. I don't know why he said that, you know. And then he added, I said, play Kara saying Kemet means black people, then I'll be convinced. This is what I have actually said, you know, when I paraphrase what I read in the chat, you know what I'm saying? But we do have a PhD in Egyptology, a PhD in Egyptology, basically a professor in Egyptology. And he has stated that those glyphs that some people will read Kemet, others will read Kemet you, means black people, or those who are black, you know. So if he's not convinced, and I don't expect him to be convinced, but you know, it is what it is, you know, it's a fact. Now, see, Pure Black here, you can read that question here. I mean, some people, you have to wonder what's going on in their brain, but you know, I guess they be hearing things, you know. They be hearing things. Now, if I go right here, we have this dude, Zoo221. Now, it seems like the guy who came on my panel once. It seems now, whether it's him or not, that guy who came on my panel once. Actually, I think he speaks Wolof. That's him. He is a groupie of Asahim Fake. I'm sorry, Asahim Hotep. Here wrote with croissant. You know, it is what it is. You know. Now, Indigenous Black Man wrote facts, Shaka, burial text, still is, etc. It will not be long, you know. I'm not going to read all comments, of course. Astro87 wrote Hotep scholarship. So, well, and you know, when people are hiding in the chat, you know what I'm saying, you know, they're afraid to say so many things. But, you know, once again, this is a PhD from the University of Memphis, you know what I'm saying. And Diop was a PhD as well, you know, so they can call it Hotep scholarship, you know, but it's all good. Here, Pure Black wrote, he's talking like we've never seen Egyptian artifacts before. And here, Pure Black wrote, my first question is, why are you wearing a coat and a fleece at the same time in the summertime? Well, it is not summer yet. It is spring. And it was morning time I was going to work. But it's so funny, you know, first he's asking if, you know, I did something, you know, that you can read. And now he's worrying about what I am wearing. You know, some people are just weird online, you know what I'm saying? So here somebody wrote he cold. Here 504 top level wrote Lucaship. Lucaship is nothing, it's not something that scholars or PhDs, you know what I'm saying, use as a term, but not to my knowledge, you know what I'm saying. this is just a word that some people use to make themselves feel good. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have, and you know what, hold on, let me just pause. If you have a situation, or let's say you are attacked, or let's say the police is looking for some people, right? If the police say we are looking for a black male, or if somebody says, well, it was a black male that attacked me, or if it was a Caucasian male that attacked me, or if the police said we are looking for Caucasian male, nobody's going to say, oh, that's leadership, the police is doing leadership now. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just a ridiculous term as far as I'm concerned, but I've heard it before. Now, Astro 87 wrote same color as modern Egyptians. This is kids play. Now, for those who don't know, I have shown artifacts. Just show you, hold on. Oh no, it's not that one. Okay. I will read the comments after. I will not be long with this. I mean the comments from my chat. Now, come on, I don't see it here. Okay, I'm gonna do. Before, when I was right clicking, it will show straight away. Doesn't. I don't even. Where did I save it? Right. All right. So look at this. Is this the same color as modern Egyptian? Some people are so funny. That is this the same color, the same skin color as the modern Egyptians? Zahir Was looks like this. Is this the same skin tone as the modern Egyptians? All right. Okay, so I can stop there. So let's go back. This. Tony Apsu wrote Kemet means 10 things. That's why it's good when you can see the actual glyphs, right? But when we were talking about Kemet, we were talking about the location, the country. Well, we also talk about, well, it depends. The I6 leaf with the loaf of bread and the city man and the city woman and 3 strokes to the plural. Some people may, read it Kemet. Some people will read it Kemet to you. And then he wrote Desheret means 20 things, LOL. So, now. Now here Simon Phoenix wrote, "This is sad at this point, LOL. Pseudos everywhere, grade A leadership." So now he has grades for leadership, you know. Here we have Otio who wrote, how these guys with no formal education correcting PhD. Y'all don't know how hard it is to get a PhD. Now, how does that person know that I have no formal education? Right? And I was not correcting any PhDs. I was actually in agreement with Dr. Peter Brand, PhD in Egyptology, professor of Egyptology from the University of Memphis. But you know, people are free to type whatever they want, you know. Now, Otio wrote, "My girl been working on her thesis for 3 years and had to take research classes. Y'all crazy." Okay. Here, Pure Black wrote, "Every source I've read says Egyptian people weren't black or white, but y'all want me to believe y'all." Well, I don't think he has read a lot lately, but we have several PhDs, you know, who did not agree with that statement. Tyson Stewart is one of them. And then we have a few others, and Smash Walker has played videos of PhDs. There was also a PhD who is a NASA scientist, and he said that the ancient Egyptians, you know, were basically Black Africans. But anyway, you know, I guess some people are not up to date. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be finished soon. Because once again, I'm not gonna read all comments. So once again, Otio wrote, "These dudes don't even have high school diploma, but correcting PhD only in the conscious community." I was not correcting any PhDs at all. Simon Phoenix wrote, "I give it to Chef here, pro at dealing with pure ignorance." Where was the pure ignorance? Here, Pure Black wrote, "Having a PhD is the total opposite of self-proclaim." Who is self-proclaim and self-proclaim of white? Of what? Then here he wrote he's lying. Lying about what? Now, Simon Phoenix wrote, "I bet dollars this man misconstruing the PhD work." All right, you can bet all you want. Now I was still on the panel, as you can see. You know, claims. People are free to make claims. It's all good. We hear that all the time. Some people are hurt by what PhDs are saying. No. Okay, that's the end. So now I can read the comments in my chat. And if nobody gets on the panel, then we can call it a day. So, few comments. Where was I last? I'm not sure that Reggie was challenging Diop. You know, there may have been some misunderstanding. Venerable people keep saying Egyptians had no concept of races, yet who has ever demonstrated they didn't? Matron means wrote, my father, what do you think about some people in our community who are trying to make the colonizing Arabs the ancient indigenous Africans? Well, I don't know if you can give me a quote, if you can give me a name. But there is a PhD called Dr. Wesley Muhammad, claim verbally and in writing in a published book that the Arabs were black, that Prophet Muhammad was black. And I have refuted that in a scholarly manner. I'm going to share the link in the chat. There it is, the link is in the chat. Color of Prophet Muhammad and the Arabs at the emergence of Islam. Alpha wrote, in the Middle Nature, there is no masculine or feminine. It's the white made it look feminine, but it's not it, ham or hem. But there is masculine and feminine in the Middle Nature. So what you're saying is inaccurate. Nature means wrote those Asiatics will never be the rematch. Well, that's it. I went through all the comments. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes and then I can call it a day. But this is great. Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop vindicated. Now, I don't go live as much as I used to. As a matter of fact, some of you may have seen, I have already uploaded a video dealing with hieroglyphic or Middle Nature or ancient Egyptian vocabulary. And I will upload some more, you see. Every now and then, you know, who knows, I may go live, you know, but all those people in the chat or anybody else, you know, like right now, most of the time when I'm live, I share the link and people can come on the panel and they can dialogue with me. They can disagree with me, it's fine, no problem at all, you know. The chat is one thing. Some people are not hanging in chats, they are making claims. We heard a few, but they are crews. As a matter of fact, hold on, check this out, listen to this.
And I saw like something in the chat, like you know, what's his name out in France? Shaka Ndugu Kim, right? Like this individual don't comprehend very well either. And when it comes to this linguistic thing, I never said that I wasn't a linguist. I'm a linguist by all intents and purposes and how that is defined, which is why, like for my other show, I said we're going to do a whole show on what is linguistics and what makes a linguist. What I did say is I don't have a degree in linguistics.
So the guy you heard is Simon Hotep, and he's on tape saying that he is a linguist. And in the same breath, in the same sentence, he says that he doesn't have a degree in linguistics. So soon, maybe, you know, whether they are Riparianites or not, whether it's, you know, all those people who be butt kissing, you know, Simon Hotep, like the dude in the chat. What was his name again? Hold on. Zoo 221, you know, or any others, you know, we may have some doctors, medical doctors, you know, some MD who don't have any degree, you know, in medicine. We may have some architects who don't have any degrees, you know what I'm saying? We may have all sorts, you know what I'm saying? Don't even realize what shaking my head. What a copper. He's now this is the guy. Once again, for those who haven't heard it.
Allah, and this is where I would disagree with Brother Shaka, is actually in the Egyptian text. The god Allah is an indigenous African god. Then when you do a linguistic analysis, you understand that the Hebrew language is cognate with the Yoruba language. Between a law in linguistics and a law, for example, physics, is that with a law.
Are you a physicist? Do you study physics, for example?
I do study physics and I study science. And so,
have you studied linguistics formally?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Not only that, but he hasn't done a reconstruction for Middle Egyptian.
I understand.
And I'm saying that is an incorrect and it is not a very good order of operations. So you're going to.
I don't see a reconstruction of Yoruba in your work or Akan.
How would I reconstruct Yoruba and it's spoken right now? How does that make any sense to you?
Because that's my point.
It's spoken right now. And what I did is I used IPA because Yoruba has its own orthographic system.
It's a convention for sounds. These are all symbols. That's the whole point of writing. They're just symbols to represent sounds. We understand that. The issue is that it's not attested in terms of a living.
So this is what I'm hearing as a lack of understanding. What you just said, you said I didn't reconstruct Yoruba. I wouldn't need to reconstruct Yoruba.
If
I wouldn't need to reconstruct Akan. He doesn't need to reconstruct Somali. He also doesn't need to reconstruct Hausa. But what he does need to reconstruct is the one that I'm saying that he did not reconstruct.
Here's a question.
Please, just hold on 1 second because.
I understand. Believe me, I understand what you're saying. I'm asking you this.
Then let me make this last point, please. Just let me make this last point. So you're saying that I didn't reconstruct a language that is attested right now. You don't reconstruct languages that are attested right now. You write them down.
Cambone is not in conversation with the authors of the text. It's not like he is trying to teach them how to improve. It's like he's at the overall tone of the text is like he's at a barbershop and he's just shooting the ish with some friends and on how he don't like so and so and how this text is bullshit, basically. Right? He's not having a conversation with Professor Kwame Osei or Salim Faraji or Jahi Issa. It's not in the tone of a dialogue. And because of that, that's why he doesn't, it just comes off as just complaining or like a woman venting about her day at the job.
Alrighty, as mentioned before,
So, you had that dude and others, riparianites or not, who be following, Osai Imhotep, even though he's on tape saying that Allah is in the Egyptian text. Once again, Allah is in the Egyptian text. Allah is an indigenous African god. Hebrew is cognate with Yoruba and a few other things. I've already played him saying that the English word fly comes from the hieroglyphic keper, right? So, it may be Freemasonry, maybe some other type of groups, because some people, they bend over, they get smacked, and that's just the way they get down. I mean, I'm gonna put the volume of the music down. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna stop the music. Hold on, listen to that. Listen for yourself.
Did you go through any kind of hazing process, bro?
No, I pledged. Yes.
Okay, so you went through a hazing process.
No, I pledged. There's a difference.
Okay, so as you went through the hazing process, did they slap you on the ass with a paddle?
Yes, they did.
Oh, okay. So you bent over, you grabbed your ankles, and that paddle was smacking that ass.
Basically.
Okay.
You heard it for the record, so I don't know if that, that zoo dude, whatever, that's some people, they are, citing, with one another because they went through similar things. You know what I'm saying? And scholarship is not their main endeavor. Their endeavor is just to look out for one another, regardless of what they do, regardless of what they say, regardless of what they claim, regardless of what they present. You know what I'm saying? So in 2024, we have those running around saying that Allah is in the Egyptian text, that Allah is an indigenous African god, right? But Ujau has no problem claiming that Diop was wrong. I don't have a problem with people making claims, right? But in the same page where he claims that Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop was wrong, Ujau is contradicted by his claims, because Diop showed other terms for the ancient Egyptians, right? But Ujau cannot say that Amenhotep is wrong for saying that Allah is in the Egyptian text and that Allah is an indigenous African god. You know, that's how you know some people, you're just wasting your time dealing with them, right? Ewalker is a place to be. He wrote Peace, Family, Hotep Sen, Shaka. How can I find a conversation featuring Baba Cambone? You just played a moment ago. Back then, I had played the full thing, but I was asked by someone close to Dr. Cambone to remove it, you know, so I did, you know, out of respect. So the only thing I played is just a little excerpt. However, Amenhotep played the exchange. Now, he probably commented through his video. I did not listen to his stream, but he did a live stream and he played it. You know what I'm saying? So it should be available on his you know, YouTube page. You know what I'm saying? But it was embarrassing. And as a matter of fact, it's good that you mentioned this, brother Eric Walker. We even have Amenhotep on tape trying to argue with a PhD in linguistics, somebody who has a degree in linguistics. And it's almost as if he's trying to tell him how to do his job. You know what I'm saying? So this guy, even when he's dealing with a PhD in the field that he claims, you know, which is once again linguistics, you know what I'm saying? And he's making pseudo claims at that, because you heard him, you know. He didn't say, oh, I didn't see any reconstruction of Yoruba and Akan in your work. So with some people, it's just a lost cause. But, you know, we have some individuals, you know, like the Riparianites, you know, Emiket, Ujau, Pishon, you know, and a few other peoples, you know. You have that moderator that used to be on Frankie's platform, you know, used to block people who disagree with Asar. She would even block people who disagree with Garfield, but you know, she doesn't have that luxury anymore. You know what I'm saying? She got blasted by Frankie as well. Frankie said that, you know, she gave basically fellatio to Garfield, and who knows, you know, who else. But it's their world, you know, they're free to do and say what they want, but they had a good run, you know. But it's just amazing. How can people say that Diop was wrong and they have a guy who makes some of the most pseudo claims on planet Earth, but yet they don't say that that guy is wrong? So there may be some, you know, some smacking or whatever else. But anyway, stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to, by the nature, I will definitely have to back at you. I don't argue. I stay fast. If you're not part of the solution, part of the problem. If you do not think right, you will not act right. If you know better, you will do better. Do it to do it.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving middle nature classes, and here, that's the flyer. Okay, so those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool, but I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the meta nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the meta nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class, and all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Neture class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.